Hi everyone, salut tout le monde, ici Charles Lancaster et bienvenue sur mon petit live du dimanche matin. Everyone, this is Charles Lancaster and welcome to my morning coffee stream. I hope everyone is doing great. Donc oui, hier je faisais des YouTube Shorts et mes settings là, de Streamlab n'étaient pas encore remis pour faire des lives, donc j'ai dû redémarrer Streamlab. Et là, vous m'entendez sur mon nouveau micro que j'utilise que je vais essayer d'utiliser pour faire du streaming. J'espère que vous m'entendez bien. Donc, hope everyone is doing okay. I just made myself a small black coffee from Vanut. And let's chat a bit. So, today, it's gonna be the membership stream of Bijou at 7 p.m. Yeah, of course. But yeah. Ça va être le membership stream de Bijou. Je vais clairement vouloir y participer. Ça me semble quand même assez cool. Je l'aime bien, Bijou. Hier, c'était le concert d'Hololive pour le Splash Party dans leur cadre de leur festival d'été qui avait été reporté à cause des problèmes techniques, mais là qui avait été diffusé gratuitement sur YouTube. C'est une excellente nouvelle. Je suis bien content de voir ça. J'ai pu l'écouter avec quelques amis. Let's just check something. Ok. 1, 2. Parfait. Je vais changer un petit setting. Oh, attendez. Oui, je me fais de ma chaise. Voilà. Ça va être mieux. Donc, effectivement, petit stream de bijoux. Ça va être le fun. Sinon, moi, cette semaine, là, je l'ai posté sur Twitter, mais je vais aussi l'envoyer sur mon petit canal Discord que j'utilise. Mon horaire de la semaine, ça va être... aujourd'hui, c'est le petit streaming, un morning coffee. Lundi, je ne stream pas. Mardi, je vais streamer du GTA RP. Mercredi, je ne stream pas. Jeudi, on va voir ETS Radio avec Froster à propos de Final Fantasy XIV et du contenu Savage dans Final. Vendredi, je ne compte pas streamer et samedi, ça va être un petit stream all occur. Donc, ça va être excellent tout ça. Donc, je vais aller faire ma petite routine matinale. Il se passe des choses intéressantes sur Internet. We have something cool happening on the internet. Okay. Let's go check on the Kickstarter of a clam. Okay, they are now are near. Let me put that in US. Okay, they are near 22,000 bucks, 30,000 bucks in Canadian dollar on the objective of like 2,000. No, 20,000. So yeah, I'm gonna kickstart that project soon. Just want to see how the thing are going. Otherwise, when we have something interesting, I can show you. Let me check few things. Okay, let's change few things. No. Okay. So let's go check on Kickstarter. Oh, a campaign from for D&D, Studio Ghibli, and Legend of Zelda inspired. Oh, cool illustration. Yeah, 8 new subclass, 3 new race, 50 new spell, 60 new monster. Oh, t'avais déjà entendu parler du projet à Babylone? Oui, College of Math. What? Attends, c'est sponsorisé par Dingo Doodle, puis j'étais pas au courant. What the fuck? Je l'aime bien. Ah ouais, écoute, c'est clips qui parlent de D&D, puis cool. J'ai raté ça. Ah, ok, ben écoute, je dois pas avoir écouté le dernier. Let me check something. Oh, yeah. She had made stuff. Okay. I'm gonna check that later. But here, the projects look cool. Illustration are sick. vending machine dice set. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that, okay? Because I'm not that into D&D. Okay, confession time. I don't have any D&D book at my place. Or Pathfinder book. But I should probably go and buy the set with the DM players and book and monster manual. I should go buy that. I think it's something important for a DM to have. But since I didn't really TM D&D, I don't really have the need for have this book home. But a player and book will be useful for sure. But I would probably want to play that adventure. I will set the link in the chat. Oh, a free playtest. That's cool. Oh my god, the bar looks sick. Oh. Shit, there's a mask. Fox, when wearing this mask, you gain the ability to move around and miss space, and your risk increased by 1. And you can use your reaction to gain an advantage on dexterity saving. Oh, don't know. And you can cast detect magic in outside at will without That's odd, that thing? Yeah! You are right, Babylon. College of Masses, yeah, kind of sick. That's cool. Seriously, that's cool. Who's behind this? Oh my god, that's kind of huge. More than 2 million? Yeah, that's a lot of money. Yo, I'm going to see what this guy are making. So yeah, 30 bucks for the PDF, 60 for the hardcover book. The starter pack is 85. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's a cool stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna participate to the Kickstarter, but I want to play this game. Seriously, I want to play this. And even that's maybe a thing I want to DM. Anyone in the chat about this? Babylon, est-ce que t'as participé au Kickstarter? Ah, ok. Ah, boy. Mais je vais plus aller sur Écrime, honnêtement, parce que c'est plus mon genre de jeu. Mais probablement, quand je vais le voir en vente, peut-être à mon magasin local, je vais peut-être participer, l'acheter en magasin. C'est l'affaire, ça, c'est que je fais pas tant de D&D que ça, là. J'ai tellement de games, j'ai pas vraiment envie de m'embarquer à DMer du D&D. Parce que quoi, présentement, je DM quoi, là? Je DM surtout du Call of Cthulhu. Pis ça, j'en avais parlé, je vais être au festival Draconis. Il va falloir que je soumette ma game très bientôt, justement. Je vais participer au festival Draconis à titre de DM invité dans le festival avec une game de Call of Cthulhu. Petite game qui va se passer aux alentours d'Arkham en Nouvelle-Angleterre, qui vient de la version 6 du jeu que je vais DM, probablement. Bon, on va pas s'en décider. Fait que je DM du Call of Cthulhu. Euh, j'ai DM une petite affaire de Pathfinder, mais je me considère pas un DM de Pathfinder. Je DM aussi du Savage World. Je DM aussi, bon, du Acton Cthulhu, mais ça, c'est une extension là, euh, de Cthulhu de base. Je ne comprends pas comment comme un autre jeu. Je crois que maintenant, ils ont changé de système. Avant, ils étaient vraiment basés sur la V7 et la version officielle d'Occasion, mais maintenant, ils font leur truc de leur côté avec, je crois, un système de 2D6, de 2D20. Je ne sais plus trop, là. C'est quoi qu'ils utilisent comme système. Mais je suis encore sur l'ancienne version. Je vais peut-être faire le Switch parce que c'est un jeu que j'aime beaucoup, Acton. Qui se passe en tant que tel. C'est de l'appel de Cthulhu, mais dans la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, où on va se battre contre des nazis. Là. Assez cool. Beaucoup plus orientation. Les films de guerre, là, purement euh, à la Indiana Jones. Là. Ouais, c'est ça. Très bon jeu. J'aime beaucoup. Ensuite, je vais probablement mettre le DMI du Ekrim, vu que je vais l'acheter du jeu. Je DM du Avatar Legion. J'ai DMé quelques petits jeux indépendants. Attendez, faut que je vous montre ça. Est-ce que j'ai des fans d'Harry Potter dans le chat? Attendez, faut juste aller regarder voir si j'ai la dernière version de tout là. Ok, attendez. Ça, c'est un projet que j'ai suivi depuis plusieurs années, ok? Ça s'appelle Tuer un sorcier. C'est un jeu de rôle, on va dire amateur, là, dans l'univers d'Harry Potter qu'on suit à travers d'une aventure des étudiants de Poudlard. J'ai arrêté de le DM parce que le jeu de rôle est encore en travail depuis plusieurs années. Je pense que ça fait 10 ans que le mec travaille dessus. Euh, mais yeah, il est en train de travailler sur la création là, du jeu. Et il a quand même fait plusieurs petites cartes, des choses assez, assez cool à ce que je vois ici. Mais le jeu est vraiment pas mal. Écoute, on est à 152 pages. Et là, on a comme tout un peu le sommaire. Qu'est-ce qui se passe ici? Bref, un système de jeu pour jouer à Poudlard. J'ai adoré. Je l'ai fait avec des amis, là. Et je l'avais adoré. Le problème, c'est que le jeu, j'étais pas tellement fini. Les scénarios, j'avais trouvé quelque chose de quand même bien sympathique. Mais franchement, waouh. Ça, j'ai clairement envie de le rejouer un jour, là. Tout le fonctionnement des, euh, des cours. Mais franchement, assez cool. Bon petit jeu de rôle. C'est fait par Jeudi CJDR, là. C'est une chaîne YouTube à la base. Donc, un bon petit jeu. Bon, y a quelque chose d'autre d'intéressant sur Kickstarter? Bon, un Pokémon est apparu. Et moi, un petit projet de café. Ah non, merde, je voulais voir quelque chose avant. Je voulais voir les mecs qui avaient fait ça. Ils avaient fait quoi d'autre? Ok. C'est des cool, les mecs. Bon projet. Des beaux petits projets qu'ils ont fait. Bon. What else on Kickstarter? Oh! That's something cool. Ok. So. Okay, some news of Mome. She's going to do two stream for the 2 years anniversary, uh, an archive and an unarchived karaoke. She's still trying to figure the timing out. So we will probably not have our merch today or in the next few days. I'm curious to see what is going to be our merch for the anniversary. Okay, so let's check some few things. Yeah, Rando is back. Oh yeah, it is the graduation of Mista. Check this. This is on Twitter. It is Alien Babe for the Auto Summer splash party. They look so similar. Seriously, with the cam in the light of the stage, they look like two sisters. They are basically the same every color, similar size. Okay, small question for the people in the chat. Are you familiar with the Pumpkin Forest video on D&D? Yeah. So you're familiar with his video about the deck of many things? This thing is fucking crazy. I don't know why people will want to have this item in the game. Seriously, this shit is fucking broken. Oh, and I have something cool to share with you. And especially you for Babylon in the chat. It is something that will be useful, and I will use maybe for my D&D campaign, my Call of Cthulhu campaign. It is something uh, from Ocean Liner Design. Ocean Liner Design is a YouTube channel that explore and talk about the history of a boat and ship, especially Ocean Liner and uh, great creation of the shipment industry of the last century. And EA has announced something crazy. Just me find something. I just want to find a video on YouTube. let's just this together. So basically, this thing is going to be a game maybe more like a digital experience. So you can explore a ship and zipliner, zeppelin into the Unreal Engine. I think they will do the inside of the ship maybe in a future update. But I think this thing is possibly kind of fucking great potential for Call of Duty or maybe some D&D game with maybe some older ship, uh, like we see in the background, ship like this. Uh, and it is my type of thing too, just to explore and have fun exploring that kind of ship. That's the great. And something I'm looking into too is City Skyline 2, a city builder by the team of Paradox. I think Paradox on the producer, and not the editor. But yeah, uh, let's take the official trailer and showcase. So this is a city builder. So it is a management game. Yeah, looking cool. Probably gonna buy this. So, s'il y en avait des trains dans le premier. And just give me a time for a second cup of coffee. Hi, everyone, I'm back. So yeah, this is something, not something new for the train. Okay, so let's watch some. Oh, okay. I have found something interesting to watch. So it is. Okay, let's watch how SimCity failure lead to the creation of City Skyline. Let's check this, guys.
It's a cold March day in 2013. I was a 20-year-old college student still living with my parents. On this day, my parents happened to be out of town and had left me with some money to buy food while they were away. I had used some of the money to buy several Little Caesars hot and ready pizzas, and I still had about $60 left to get me through the rest of the week. But I had no intention of spending that money on food for myself. No, I was going to use that money to buy a game I had been dreaming about for almost a year. I hopped in my car and headed down to the local GameStop to pick up a copy of SimCity. I had to go to GameStop because I only had cash, and as we all know, Origin doesn't accept cash. I installed the game as soon as I got home and was instantly disappointed.
Yep.
You see, when SimCity first came out, there was no offline mode. The game had to be played with an internet connection, which may have been acceptable if EA had enough servers for everyone to play on. I had to wait for close to 30 minutes just to get onto a server to play a single-player game. Luckily, my sister who lived across the country pitied me and ordered me a Pizza Hut big dinner box so that I could eat my sorrows away. Little did I know at the time that the absolute dumpster fire of a release for SimCity would be directly responsible for bringing about one of my all-time favorite games and a sequel.
Yeah, I was fucking disappointed with the SimCity failure because I was fan of SimCity. I have just in a shelf at the left of me. I have a copy of SimCity 4. One of my first video game. SimCity 4 was fucking great. One of the best city builder ever. And the other one are of course City Skyline. I also have City Life, okay, city builder, but not at the level of SimCity 4 or City Skyline. But let's continue to watch this video.
That I am hoping will be the ultimate city building game. So let's travel back in time a little bit, to June 1982 to be specific. A new game for the Intellivision has just been released and it's called Utopia. Utopia is a two-person strategy game where players control an island where they spend gold to build different buildings. As the population grows, the player is responsible for taking care of the people and keeping them happy. If they don't keep those people happy, rebel activity would hurt the player's score. Utopia was the start of a new genre, the city builder. Jump ahead almost 7 years to February of 1989 when SimCity was introduced.
Yes.
Developed by Will Wright and published by his company Maxis.
Fucking good. Will Wright and Maxis, especially their first game, they are massive for the video game industry in the tycoon and management type of game. What they have done for the industry is awesome.
SimCity laid the groundwork for all future builders to follow. SimCity was a huge step up compared to previous attempts at a city builder. Featuring overhead 2D graphics, you could now build the cities of your dreams. SimCity introduced numerous new features including the RCI demand bar, power grids, roads, public services, disasters, and the most important part of running a city, taxes. SimCity was an immersive game that allowed you to micromanage every aspect of running a city, all in an effort to maintain your Sims' standard of living while keeping your city out of bankruptcy. SimCity went on to sell several million copies and was released on 27 different platforms. It is recognized as one of the most influential video games of all time. Between 1989 and 1993, 5 new city builders had been released. However, none of them were able to recapture the success of the 1989 release of SimCity. This led Will Wright and Maxis
SimCity 2000, I think.
SimCity 2000 was released in 1993 to the starving fans of city builders. Just like with the original SimCity, SimCity 2000 made huge advancements for the genre of city builders. 2000 featured an isometric perspective compared to the top-down view of the original, which gave the game a more 3D look to it. With the new view, land could now have different elevations as well as underground layers for subways and water systems. The player could now connect their city to neighboring cities with highways to grow their population and increase their trade. The following year, Maxis released an expansion pack to SimCity 2000 called Scenarios Volume 1 Great Disasters. This expansion had several new scenarios based around disasters that destroy a city, The player is then responsible for rebuilding the city to its former glory. SimCity 2000 went on to be one of the most popular games of the 90s,
Oh
selling
yeah.
over 4.2 million copies and solidifying SimCity as the go-to city builder. 6 years and 16 city builders later, Maxis stepped back into the ring to release its next uppercut to the jawline of its competition. SimCity 3000 was released on February 1st, 1999, and in my opinion, it was the high point for the series. 3000
I will
brought
see
with it
SimCity 4.
numerous new features. The player now had to deal with all the trash that the Sims in their city produced. In addition, farms were added to the game and they would appear on large, light industrial plots of land with low population. Power plants and water facilities now had lifespans and had to be replaced as they deteriorated over time. Players now had interactions with their computer neighbor cities. The players could negotiate business deals with mayors of other cities to either buy or sell services such as water or trash services. Land value now affected the construction of buildings. Your city could now have well-defined wealthy, middle class, and lower class areas, all based on the land value of the area. 3000 also introduced real-world landmarks, such as the CN Tower, Empire State Building,
Woo, Canada.
Eiffel Tower, and more to the game. SimCity 3000 also featured a live music soundtrack, which featured mostly new age and live jazz songs.
Yeah.
SimCity 3000 had sold 5 million copies by 2007. For me, SimCity 3000 holds a special place in my heart. It was my first ever city builder game as a kid. My sister and I bought it from the Scholastic Book Fair at our elementary school.
Oh yeah. Scholastic Book Fair.
And then destroying it just for fun. Just 4 years after SimCity 3000,
SimCity 4. Yeah, the iron mark of the series for me.
By EA, released
And one of my first game I bought with my money was like in high school, I think. First year of high school. But yeah. What's a game, SimCity 4?
Fourth installment in the series, aptly named SimCity 4. SimCity 4 was the first city builder to use a 3D engine to render its graphics, and it looked great. While a strain on many people's computers, it still managed to be one of the top-selling games in 2003. SimCity 4 was also the first SimCity game to feature a day-night cycle. SimCity 4 now featured 3 game modes: God Mode, Mayor Mode, and My Sim Mode. SimCity 4 received mostly positive reviews, however many players found that the game was more difficult compared to previous SimCity games. After SimCity 4, SimCity fans had to wait an excruciating 10 long years before the new SimCity was released. The 5th installment in the SimCity series was once again called SimCity. During the lead up to the release, the game had quite a bit of hype behind it. The graphics were reported to be fantastic, and many fans of the SimCity series were excited to play the next installment. The game was released to the masses on March 5th, 2013, and all the hype led to an absolute dumpster fire of a game launch. Among other problems, the biggest issue was the game's need for a persistent internet connection, even for a single-player game. In addition, EA's servers couldn't keep up with the demand, which caused widespread outages, long loading times, and disconnections, which led players to losing their saved game data. In an unexpected move, EA offered a free game on Origin to early purchasers of SimCity. I got myself a free copy of Need for Speed Most Wanted, a game that I played more than SimCity. Over a year after the launch of the game, EA released a patch that allowed offline mode for SimCity. But by this time, many players had given up on the game and no longer had interest in playing.
The hype was passed.
Even with all the launch problems, the game managed to sell over 1 million copies in the first 2 weeks.
And let's being honest, this thing doesn't have a great look for me too, maybe a bit too cartoonish. I don't know. I don't feel great vibe looking at this.
SimCity, EA shut down the Emeryville studio of Maxis, and no work on a new entry in the series has been done. However, fans of the city builder genre were in luck. Following the colossal failure of the new SimCity, a new city builder entry from a new player was only 2 years away. The
Yep.
good people at Colossal Order were watching
Colossal,
the
yes.
dumpster fire at Maxis closely. Colossal Order already had a game called Cities in Motion, which was a transportation simulation game. They knew that they could make
Yeah, I played Cities in Motion. Great game.
a full city builder game, but didn't want to try and compete with the monster of a series, SimCity. Once the new SimCity was released and it was clear that the game was a critical failure, Paradox greenlit Colossal Order to create a full city builder game, and thus Cities Skylines was born. Cities Skylines was released on March 10th, 2015 to very positive reviews. While the game lacked some features of SimCity, it was a well put together game where players could build monster cities and micromanage every aspect of running a city. This was the city builder that players had wanted. Over the last 8 years, 16...
Oh, I wanted to play that shit. And I play that shit a lot. And I remember they have had I think it's in this guy is called Shippy. It's like the Twitter thing of the game. And citizen and other member of your cabinet talk to you by Twitter. And at that time, I have seen some people say, "Oh, no way, a real city or country gonna be managed via Twitter." And few years later, we have in Montreal Denis Coderre, and few years later, we have Donald Trump in the States. So, yeah, pretty realistic for me, managing the place and politics via Twitter. Yeah.
DLCs were made for the game. The DLCs greatly expanded the game.
Oh, the DLC are so fucking great on that game.
Skylines has been Paradox's best-selling game. As of June 2022,
oh, yeah.
The game had sold 12 million copies, dwarfing the sales of its competitor, SimCity. And that leads us to today. Less than 4 months away from the release date for Cities Skylines 2, a new entry that promises, if you can dream it,
this thing looks fucking great.
Skylines 2 is a major step up in terms of graphics for the series,
oh, yeah.
and looks to have even more control over your citizens' lives. Without the failure of SimCity,
this thing looked great.
Would have gotten the best city builder. Cities Skylines. I, for one, am grateful for EA's incompetence, as it brought us a much better game. What do you think of Cities Skylines? Will you be buying Cities Skylines too? My name is Gage, and this has been a TBG video.
Yeah, that's great. This thing is great. Good video. Yeah, this guy seemed to make some great video. Let's watch his video for The Sims. And I will give that guy a sub.
The Sims franchise has sold over 200 million copies to date and has generated over $1 billion in revenue across its 4 games and roughly 100 DLCs. It inspired a whole new genre of gaming and inspired hundreds of developers.
Oh, the Sims are massive. The Sims are a massive series, and a lot of people who say they play the video game basically just play The Sims, and that's okay. The Sims is a great game. You can have a lot of fun playing it.
To go far beyond what they thought their limitations were. But how does a game this large even get started? Is there any game that could dethrone one of the largest gaming franchises in history? Before we jump into The Sims, let's rewind to the mid-90s, a time when the gaming landscape was dominated by action-packed titles and competitive endeavors like Quake, StarCraft,
so many great titles on the screen.
Fallout, Unreal Tournament, Diablo 2, Doom, Command & Conquer, Zelda Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye, and many more. Enter The Sims, a brainchild of game designer Will Wright. which dared to explore the uncharted territory of everyday simple life simulation in the midst of an endless sea of hardcore action games. Originally, Will Wright was so focused on SimCity that the game The Sims was canceled on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
But one day when Will's home was lost in an unfortunate accident, he lost everything in a house fire, and it dawned on him how materialistic humans were. As he went through the process of having to rebuild his family's home and buying all new furniture again, he had made the decision to resurrect the project he called Dollhouse. Around the same time that
Okay.
EA purchased Maxis and gave him the funding to build this new game and rebrand it as The Sims.
The Sims, yeah.
Released in the year 2000, The Sims introduced to us a world where pixelated people lived their virtual lives under our guidance. It allowed players to create their dream homes, control the lives of their Sims families, and experience the everyday joys and challenges of human existence. I remember when the game first came out, my older brother was obsessed with his Sims family to the point it drove my parents crazy that he enjoyed spending time with his virtual family more than his real family. In reality, all he wanted was that freedom to build and create a beautiful custom house with all of the upgrades after typing in the cheat code Rosebud for the 1
Yeah,
millionth
Rosebud.
time. The Sims
Yeah.
struck a chord with players worldwide, captivating millions with its unique gameplay and boundless creativity. But its impact extended far beyond the realm of its players and showed gaming companies how a player could feel more connected to a character that is forced to make decisions which would impact and alter the future of their characters. The Sims sparked a wave of inspiration that rippled through the industry, giving birth to a multitude of games that built upon its foundations. Games like Animal Crossing, Stardew
Yeah.
Valley, and Tomodachi Life drew inspiration from The Sims, offering
Yeah, of
players
course.
the chance to build their own virtual worlds, form connections, and escape into harmonious digital realms. Developers had figured out that the gamers felt more connected and invested into the digital worlds that gamers had formed to showcase their creative sides and customize the gaming experience every time they played, and that no two save files could ever be the exact same. Titles such as Life is Strange, Detroit Become Human, and Mass Effect took cues from The Sims, placing emphasis on players' choices, narrative-driven experiences, and the power to shape the outcome of the story. As we all figured out from the Mass Effect series, it was difficult to put the controller down, knowing that our characters' looks, stats, and decisions could even be carried over from game to game, making it even more appealing to play because of the
Yeah.
customization of it. The Sims gave developers the courage to push boundaries, to explore the potentials of interactive storytelling, and to immerse players in rich, dynamic worlds.
The fuck is
The
that?
Sims franchise itself continued to evolve, introducing sequels, expansion packs, and vibrant modding communities that expanded its possibilities even further. From The Sims 2 aspirations and fears to The Sims 3 open world exploration and The Sims 4 advanced building tools, the franchise never ceased to surprise and captivate its loyal fan base. The Sims 4 was loved
Yeah,
by
that's
so
true.
many they decided to continue expanding it with a total of 66 DLCs,
Wow.
55 more than The Sims 3. With
That's crazy.
EA currently having their eyes on the horizon and a goal to release The Sims 5 in 2024, a competition of other developers are rising in the same genre, wanting to take the reins from EA.
Okay, let's learn
Two
about
large
the
games that are
competitor.
grabbing the eyes and attention of the community are Paralives and Life by You. Paralives is a Sims-like game being developed and published by Alex Moss, a professional game programmer and game designer. Paralives is a highly anticipated upcoming video game that has captured the attention of gamers and enthusiasts alike. In Paralives, players have unparalleled freedom to create and customize every aspect of their virtual character and their living spaces.
I don't really
game
like the character,
boasts an
but I like
extensive
the
modular
house.
decorative system, allowing players to design and construct their dream home with incredible detail and precision. Additionally, Paralives
That's so great.
introduces a flexible character creation tool, enabling players to shape their characters' appearances, personalities, and even their emotions. The game embraces an open-world concept, granting players the ability to explore a vibrant and dynamic environment, engaging in various activities, and forge relationships with other in-game characters. With its innovative mechanics and dedication to player creativity, Paralives aims to revolutionize the life simulation genre and provide an immersive and boundless gaming experience.
That's not kind of great,
We also
seriously.
have the game Life by You, set to release on September 12th, 2023.
Oh, it's by
It's being
Paradox?
developed by Paradox Tectonic and published by Paradox
Oh, okay. If it is something made by Paradox, I'm curious. Never heard of Live by You.
Interactive. The game looks and feels a lot like The Sims, but with a more expansive customization tool set in both building and character customization. But even the furniture and decor will have more freedom. On top of this, you'll be able to customize your own neighborhoods on a quick scale. The features that come in this game are truly astonishing. You'll be able to fully explore the world you build either by bike or car in third person or in first person mode with no loading screens. Have the same freedoms as you did in The Sims with creating your own story and either climbing a career ladder, being a family man or a poor person, and change anything you want at any time with its in-game custom mod maker and deeper creator tools for the community to use. The best part of all of this is you'll be able to do this at a reasonable computer cost. The system requirements are relatively low for the game that will boast a lot of freedom with a promised no loading screen playstyle. So the real question is,
Okay.
will these games be able to take over the world's
I don't
longest
think
lasting
so,
life
but
simulator and one
that
of the
can appeal
largest
to some of the
franchises in
players.
history? Perhaps the most remarkable legacy of The Sims lies within its passionate community.
Yeah.
Players around the world have embraced The Sims as a platform for self-expression, creativity, and connection. From intricate architectural masterpieces to heartfelt storytelling, the community has demonstrated the boundless potential that lies within the game. The Sims has been around for so long, being one of the creative forefronts of life simulation games, and won't be an easy task taking over and dethroning the Maxis giant, The Sims franchise. But if Paradox was able to assist in the takeover from SimCity by creating City Skylines, what's to stop them from taking over
Yeah.
EA's next
Great point.
biggest game? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments. Which game you're excited for the most? Paralives, Life by You, or The Sims 5? And
Yeah.
do you think Paradox can dethrone EA?
I think Paralife
As
can be
always,
cool,
we
but I'm
appreciate
curious
your
to
time.
see
If
Live
you
by
found that
You.
this video was entertaining or helpful, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. I like this guy. Go subscribe to his channel. This is the bike garage. Hi Sonic. Seriously, great YouTube channel. This guy have a Twitch. And what is it? Oh, it is the this guy have a podcast. Okay. Holy shit, productif ce matin? Okay. Yeah, this guy is great. So, um, so Sonic, just un small petit résumé de ce qu'on a fait aujourd'hui. Là, je vais aller écouter, peut-être faire une dernière petite réac. Je suis en train de boire mon deuxième café. Là, on vient de regarder une vidéo d'une chaîne YouTube qui parlait de City Skyline 2 qui arrive avec comment l'échec de SimCity, le dernier qui a été fait par EA et Maxis, a permis la création de City Skyline. Et ensuite, on a regardé une vidéo sur quel autre jeu qui existe similaire au Sim. Mais là, on va aller dans une idée un petit peu plus food. On va aller voir ce qu'ils ont du côté de The Insider. Ils font vraiment plusieurs bonnes vidéos de reportages. So let's check a small documentary about food. insider business. I don't. Yeah. Okay, so let's check a small video about how the Air Force Academy make 10,000 meal a day for 4,000 cadets at the boot camp. This is a video by Insider Business. Holy shit! Tabarnak! The fuck is that? Oh my god, this metal pipe sound is fucking maybe a little bit too high. And Isonic. So let's check this video. Give me a sec. And I will reduce a lot the volume of this one.
Hello, motherfucker.
Yeah, this one is perfect. Okay. So let's watch the video how the Air Force Academy make 10,000 meal a day for 4,000 cadets.
These cooks are grilling 4,200 beef tenderloin steaks at the U.S. Air Force Academy's 225,000 square foot dining hall near Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Okay, the uniform is sick. And by the way, everyone, I'm currently using a new mic. I make some small change to my audio settings, so let me know if the mic is great and if you hear me well. Yeah, it is an old new one. I got this one last year, but I never use it on stream. Kind of not the best, the easiest thing to place. But yeah. So frozen veggie? No, it is pasta.
Over the course of 3 meals, the staff at Mitchell Hall will make 590 pounds of hash browns, 375 pounds of eggs, and 90 pounds of bacon for breakfast.
90 pounds of
Lunch will
bacon.
require an additional 127
Oh my god.
pounds of bacon, 1,700 pounds of waffle fries, and 5,400 burger patties. On any given day, the cooks here are preparing 10,000 meals.
This is the biggest dining facility I've ever worked in. You look at 430 tables, family style, and you got a starch, a meat, and the vegetable. You're looking at about 1,300 pans of food.
That's some great
that are
bacon.
going on the table on a daily
A great
basis
burger,
for lunch
sorry.
here.
But feeding 4,000 Air Force cadets isn't the same as feeding your average college student.
Their energy needs are quite high compared to the average person, where most people are trying to eat like 2,000 calories. These kids, I want them eating like much, much more than that and consistently throughout the day.
And on top of the bigger calorie count, lunch comes with a set of Air Force traditions 3 days a week. We got to see how one of the military's largest dining facilities cooks massive quantities of food across 3 different meals. Mitchell Hall has an annual budget of $20 million. In 2022, the dining facility purchased 546,000 pounds of meat,
Wow.
1.2 million pounds of produce,
Wow.
and 21,000 gallons of milk. which
That's
were served
crazy.
Across 3.5 million meals.
Their uniform are kind of sick.
Today's dinner is not just any meal. It's the Cadet Wings Recognition Dinner.
Recognition is a 3-day event where the freshman class is put through many stressful events to test their mental and physical stamina. Once you make it to recognition dinner, it's a sense of accomplishment. The freshman class is recognized as the fully qualified members of the Cadet Wing.
To celebrate,
Oh.
the staff is preparing 4,000
Oh, let's make a small break. I see people are in are seeing an ad on Twitch. But I think it's crazy, seriously. so many food. So I hope everyone is doing great. So let's continue to check this video in a few seconds, just letting the ad pass on Twitch. We are watching right now the Air Force Academy make 10,000 mil for their cadet at the boot camp. I am Charlie Caster, your French Canadian VTuber. Feel free to talk to me in French or English in the chat. This is my coffee morning stream where I drink coffee and talk and watch stuff with you guys. So let's continue to watch this video.
1,600 pounds of tortellini and 788 pounds of orange glazed carrots. The first steak hits the grill at 1 o'clock to ensure the meal is ready on time. 5
That's a massive
hours
grill.
before dinner is served. The steaks move in an assembly line fashion. They're removed from their packaging, then placed on the grill, where they're seasoned and then cooked. They're then moved into a pan, wrapped, and wheeled away to be stored in hot carts to keep them warm until dinner. At the other end of the kitchen, the pre-made pasta is poured into pans, topped with pesto parmesan alfredo sauce, and moved into a rotating oven to cook.
Hi Geno. Hope you are doing great. Salut Geno, j'espère que ça va bien. Regarde une petite vidéo sur comment l'armée américaine, la Air Force, moi ça va super, prépare 10 000 repas par jour pour leurs 4 000 cadets. Assez impressionnant comme cuisine.
Preparing this much food requires an incredible amount of organization.
Of course.
Not just today. A meal like this is planned out more than
Oh,
a month
and let me put the subtitle for you.
We really want to work 6 to 8 weeks ahead and commit, we call it committing, our menu for that far in advance. Sometimes we'll find that in 8 weeks there's a holiday meal, so we need to make special preparations and changes to the menu for any special events that might be coming up.
And the recognition dinner is one of the most special meals of the year. In the front of the house, the dining area is prepped for the cadets. Back in the kitchen, onions, carrots, and mushrooms are cooked with a medley of seasonings for the vegetarian stew, while the rest of the staff strains 788 pounds of vegetables and moves them into hot carts for dinner service. As cadets begin filing into the dining hall, freshmen,
sick uniform,
fourth-year cadets typically have to pass out plates and silverware for the table. After that, the fourth years read and study the Air Force Academy handbook, known as contrails, as they wait to be seated, while upperclassmen quiz them. Tonight, the fourth years become fully recognized members of the cadet wing and will no longer have to perform these duties.
So during the year of freshman year, we're required to come in here, and after everything's set up, we have to hold our contrails at the position of attention and study them. So they make us do this, A, to form discipline because we're standing at attention, holding our arms up. So on Saturday night, it's a fun tradition to come in and have your upperclassmen do that with random objects.
Oh my god!
And then you can ask them questions like they would with us, with our knowledge.
What the fuck? They are raiding the Oreo box. The Oreo package, oh my god. They are raiding the pack of Oreo bottle. And then did you see someone bring a fucking video game?
It's a fun tradition to come in and have your upperclassmen do that with random
Okay, this is an Xbox game. I'm not able to see what the game is. Can't afford to read.
Objects.
Oh.
And then you can ask them questions like they would with us, with our knowledge. We're like yelling at them in a fun manner, and it's just a really cool experience tradition that we do.
See that? Funny.
before dinner ends, the wait staff brings out Mitch's Mountains, a dessert made earlier in the week by upperclassmen just for today's occasion.
The Mitch's workers came in and they brought us these boxes and we're like, oh, what's that? Then they open them and it's just this pile of dessert. And so it's pound cake on the bottom, topped with a bunch of scoops of ice creams and whipped cream and cherries and American flags on top to celebrate our
Nice.
So that was one of the cool experiences
Looks sick.
for us as freshmen.
After the meal, the staff in charge of the recognition dinner head home. In just 8 hours, a fresh team of cooks will arrive to prepare the next meal.
It's like a cool
Good
tradition.
morning.
3 in the morning.
Our head count for today has gone back down. We had to increase because of the weekend for recognition. So breakfast, we have scrambled eggs, bacon, and the roundabout hash browns. Let's have a
Ooh,
good
hash
shift.
brown.
Help it.
This morning, the cooks only have 2.5 hours to prepare breakfast for 1,500 students. It's a smaller meal because, unlike most lunches during the week, cadets aren't required to attend. But it's still a challenge to finish on time.
The biggest challenge that we have
Yeah.
now is making sure that we have enough staff on hand to make sure that the job gets done on a
I-
daily
I-
basis.
I like to see the kitchen in this kind of place because, of course, you're doing a lot of meal, so not everything can be fresh. So a lot of stuff you prepare in advance, pre-cook, but you can still need massive stuff in your kitchen to deal with that.
We are open 7 days a week, and we do serve 3 meals per day, so the work never stops.
Like many other kitchens, Mitchell
Hash
Hall
brown.
is still
Yeah.
recovering from a staffing shortage
Oh,
caused
yeah.
by the pandemic.
Oh, of course, yeah.
8 cooks on staff for this meal boil 375 pounds of pre-cooked
Yeah,
scrambled
like I
eggs,
said,
heat up
pre-cook
90 pounds of bacon,
eggs.
cook 560 pounds of hash browns in an industrial-sized fryer known as the Monster.
As our
Holy shit, that's a fryer. That's a massive fryer.
staffing dwindles,
The Monster.
we've had to go to a lot of pre-done convenience items. For instance, boil bag mashed potatoes, boil bag mac and cheese. It's a very time-saving opportunity for us
Yeah.
with the short staff that we have.
It's a proven method for serving large quantities of nutritious food with only a handful of cooks. The staff will spend the majority of their time transferring breakfast items into pans,
Yeah.
where they will be set on the serving line for cadets to grab and go, or dine in. But just as breakfast is being served, lunch prep is already underway.
So lunch
Yeah.
today,
I want to
cadets
go.
are getting what we call the California
Burger,
They get
what it
waffle
is.
fries today,
Waffle
and they
fries?
get run through our Monster deep
Waffle
fryer
fries are
as
great.
well. And we got the
I like-
fresh tomato onion kits that come in fresh, and those get placed on the table as well.
Oh, okay, so they put... Okay. I see. That's a nice thing for the prep. I'm not sure for the quality of the produce. But I have everything in a plastic box. You put that in the table. That, of course, in this type of dining experience, usually the burger is not fully awesome. You have to put the condiment you want, some tomato. But usually, they are going to put that in just after you have picked meat in the buns. You can add your stuff, but putting this at the table that can probably save time on the line where we get food. And it is easiest for them. They just need to know how many tables they need, so they made or order that many boxes.
On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, there's no room for error in preparing the lunch meal. All 4,000 cadets are required to dine in at Mitchell Hall, and they're only given 20 minutes to eat.
20 minutes? Okay. That's short.
A 30-minute window that they have between classes. Then right after that, they're going
What
to
did
another
you send
class
him?
of military training. So there's only a small window built
Oh,
in
yeah.
for them to eat in Mitchell Hall.
That limits their
Let's watch that after.
options. We can't provide endless options in a meal like that, so they do get their one main option. We usually have a lean protein option for them, and then we have a vegetarian option, and that's it. Where at like a traditional college, you're gonna go in and you're gonna have different types of cuisines available. We don't have that necessarily here. I think it's just the scale that we serve on.
Yeah, of course.
Biggest difference in how we provide food.
And it is the military, so you eat what we have made.
Patties for 4,000 cadets takes about 4 hours. Cooks start by laying out the pre-cooked patties on a
Of course,
tray
they're pre-cooked.
before moving them into the oven to heat up. In another part of the kitchen, cooks work together to feed 1,700 pounds of waffle fries into the deep fryer conveyor belt. As the fries exit, they are immediately put into pans that are later loaded into hot carts. Meanwhile, vegetables are boiled and seasoned in 2 100-gallon kettles.
That is big kettle.
So what we have here is our 100-gallon steam jacketed kettles. We cook a very diverse amount of product through here. Right now we're doing Italian vegetables. That's one of the vegetables for lunch service today. Typically on veg, we'll do about 200 pounds worth of vegetables for a lunch service.
On the lower level of the kitchen, staff works to wash, chop, and pack fruits and vegetables for meals planned later in the week. Prepping food days in advance allows staff to seamlessly serve thousands of required meals.
Yeah, prep cooking is important.
Buffalo chicken tenders with vegetarians, waffle fries.
But even more crucial to their efficiency is planning the menu weeks in advance
and
storing the meals in the dining facility's 20,000 square foot warehouse.
When we are ordering foods, that order goes in all at the same time for the whole week. They get put into a category, and depending on that category is the day that they arrive.
Once everything comes up the elevator, we'll separate it and take it to wherever it needs to be. We have 4 storage departments: the warehouse, the freezer, meat, and
While the warehouse staff takes inventory and stocks next week's food, the kitchen staff is wrapping up lunch, moving the last few batches of food onto warming trays. Outside, cadets get into formation for the
time for lunch,
which is mandatory 3 days a week. The Air Force Academy band begins playing as the cadet wing marches toward Mitchell Hall.
2,500 men in the making march en masse to mess for meals like Mother never made.
Since the Air Force Academy was established in 1954, cadets have been required to march into lunch. Once inside, 4th years set the table and serve the food.
We set out all the plates, we set out forks, knives, and spoons if they're needed. I was at the position called the cold pilot. I pour the waters and set that all for the table. And then the person next to him is called the hot pilot, which he would get all the food ready, everything, the meat, the vegetables, and the carbs. He would set that for each freshman and every upperclassman.
Today is the freshman class's first lunch since recognition, where those responsibilities no longer fall on them. They dine like the rest of the cadet wing.
It is impossible to meet 4,000 cadets' nutritional needs and food likes and dislikes. And so really it's working on them on an individual basis, just emphasizing the importance of regular eating and how that affects both not only their academic performance, but their physical performance as well.
The Air Force Academy follows the nutrition standards outlined by the U.S. military, which requires its most active members to eat up to 4,700 calories a day for men and 3,000 a day for women. Mitchell Hall provides as much as 5,000 calories in a day, not including food from Falcon Express, the grab-and-go station inside the dining hall.
I order every single item that goes into there, so I try to balance it out too with things that are good and healthy for them, that provide a lot of energy and nutrition, with some fun things as well, like Cracker Jacks and potato chips and stuff like that.
12:15, lunch comes to an end. Cadets clear their tables and head to their next class. The waitstaff begins cleaning the tables and resetting the dining area. Back in the kitchen, the cooking staff starts prepping for dinner, which will be served in 5 hours.
Is that lobster? Not sure. Okay, so let's check the commercial of.
Hey, you say you're getting tired of lettuce and tomato hamburgers in this town that don't quite make it?
Yeah.
Say that just once you'd like your hamburger hot and your lettuce and tomato cool and crisp all at the same time? Yeah! Well, I say you got it. I'm talking McDonald's new lettuce and tomato hamburger, the McDLT. I'm talking quarter pound of beef on the hot, hot side. And the hot stays hot. The new McDLT. Hot, hot. Crisp lettuce and tomato on the cool, cool side. And the cool stays cool. The new McDLT. Cool, crisp. The beef
Yeah.
stays hot. The cool stays
I've heard of this product.
together. You can't resist the hottest taste. The coolest dish. Keep it hot, hot. Keep it cool, cool. McDLT. McDLT. Hot, beefy McD. Cool, crisp LT. McDLT. It's a good time.
And this thing that has not been really popular. I think is this kind of a mistake from McDonald's. Okay, so let's check another video from inside our business. And I'm probably gonna end my stream with that.
This is what to.
Oh, okay. Let's check what they have. Maybe the video on Tabasco. Yeah, but the problem is not something kind of useful. I know why they have done that because in the state McDonald's you don't really eat in the actual McDonald's. More people take this and take out or with their car. They go to the exactly they eat that in the car. So I understand why they have the idea for this product, but not something that great, not something that useful. And you put the cheese on the cold part. I prefer to have my cheese melted and I have my cheese direct on the meat. I don't want to have my cheese between in between the layer of veggie. It doesn't make sense. So bad product. Okay, so what can we watch? Well, let's check. Something that me. Let's check how Tabasco is made.
This is what Tabasco's original red sauce looks like years before it arrives at grocery stores.
Somewhat in
It
barrel.
starts here, aging inside these barrels in southern Louisiana.
Takes 5 years to make a bottle of Tabasco sauce.
5 years? Shit.
And the recipe inside hasn't changed since 1868. Red peppers, vinegar, and salt. And even as the company's grown, it's managed to keep much of the production inside its headquarters on Avery Island.
Oh, okay.
But Tabasco's storied home is now under threat. The factory is surrounded by shrinking marshes, making it vulnerable to hurricanes. And the company has spent millions on storm protection.
It changes drastic from storm to storm. You can see the marsh deteriorate, and what you do is you get out there and you plant again. You try and hold what you got.
We head to southern Louisiana to see how the 6th generation of the McElhenney family is fighting for the survival of its hot sauce and home.
Yeah.
Tabasco grows peppers just for seeds inside this greenhouse.
Okay.
We're also looking for the plants that produce the richest color red peppers at perfect size and then flavor too.
Christian Brown is the great-great-great-grandson of founder Edmund McElhenney and the company's agriculture manager.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's looking good. No signs of aphids.
So it is a family business?
He sends only the strongest seeds to over 1,000 Tabasco farms around the world. Tabasco says their peppers originate from the Amazon in South America. They're about 6 times hotter than a jalapeno, and they're tiny, only 1 to 1.5 inches long and weighing
Okay.
a gram each. Because the peppers are so small and easily damaged, machines don't do the harvesting.
They're all
Okay, it has to be done by him. Okay.
Tabasco harvests 10 million pounds of peppers
That's a lot
year.
of paper.
This footage
That's
is
a
from
lot of
Louisiana,
paper.
but the process looks similar abroad. They sprinkle salt on the peppers and use a giant machine to mash them into a paste. Farms ship the paste back to Avery Island through the port of New Orleans.
Okay.
This mash is actually from Peru. We have 50,000 pounds of Tabasco mash inside that container bulked in.
This pump siphons the paste into white oak barrels.
Okay.
Some are 60 years old.
Shit.
Most of these barrels in here are essentially a used bourbon barrel. I don't really have the answer. I know it works, and we've been doing it 150 plus years, so I'm not changing it.
A team works together to fill and seal each one. One truckload will fill up to 110 barrels, but they can't overfill them because
That's cool.
If you have too much pressure, sometimes those caps blow off. Sometimes the lids
Holy
will
shit.
pop off overnight. It's a really simple fix. Just kind of move it to the barrel next to it.
It can take 30 minutes to finish one row. Since they're old, the barrels don't have a perfect seal, so workers pour salt on top. It lets gases escape while limiting oxidation.
Salt on top is just an extra protective layer. If there is an imperfection, that will help.
The team stacks each barrel
No.
by mash origin.
So this whole bay here, going as far back to as you can to get to the wall, is about 1,100 barrels of Columbia 2022.
The mash releases lots of gases during fermentation, so a tiny valve on top helps relieve the pressure.
You have
Okay.
to have some ventilation process or it's going to explode.
That
Shit.
happens sometimes.
It's like a Tabasco
Tobacco
goose.
explosion.
They come in here at night and they pop the lids off, and we come back and there's 6 or 7 we have to fix.
After 3 years, the mash inside will stabilize, shrink, and darken in color.
That have
You
shrink
can see
a
it's
lot.
built about this level here, and you can start to see
Impressive.
rings on the side of that barrel where the mash is going down.
Even though it's shrunk, the aged mash is still really spicy.
Not yet, not yet, but it is hot. So let's remember, this is 10 times more hot than actual sauce.
Okay. That's some
Next up,
concentrate.
the aged mash is pumped into the blending room.
Pretty
Here,
okay.
the pepper
What I
syrup-
like to see, it is still pretty original. Some old machines, some old stuff. That's cool.
smell will hit you right in the back of the throat.
I could say like getting maced, I guess, every day. It can really hit you hard. But that's how I put my kids through college, so I'm good with that. I love it.
Morris Montgomery oversees blending, but he goes by Nook. The Army veteran ensures all the sauce tastes the same, even though it's coming from around the world.
I try to do it 3 or 4 different countries and put them together. So it could be like a little Colombia, Peru, and a little Ecuador and Honduras.
He pumps in vinegar.
Okay, so
and
they're
blends it all
working
for
kind
up
of
to
mix.
28 days. 72 tanks mix at the same time. Strainers remove pepper pulp and seeds. Nook will take a sample for the lab to test for pH, and then
This is finished Tabasco sauce, and this is ready to go. Next step to the bottling floor.
Okay.
that's where
All the
John
box.
Simmons comes in.
All the
I'm
bottle.
also a member of the
Oh,
6th
God.
generation of the McElhenney family to make Tabasco sauce.
John's factory fills up to 700,000 bottles every day, from minis to the iconic 5-ounce one.
Ah, the 5-ounce
It
one.
also pumps out 9 different
It's cool at White Shot because I think I need to buy a new one. I've made some muscle amateur in the last days, and I think I don't have a lot of Tabasco left, so we'll need to buy another one.
flavors, from original red to habanero. Sriracha is the company's fastest growing one.
Yeah.
Today, machines do most of the filling, capping, and labeling.
So a bottle is going to go through in about 13 minutes.
They gather the bottles and package them into cardboard boxes.
We're doing it really fast at like 300 bottles a minute.
Next,
Okay.
the shipping room.
We've got product for Germany, Japan, Sweden, Taiwan, the Canary Islands, South Africa.
Everywhere.
All these newly packaged products leave the warehouse within 3 weeks. While the sauce is definitively global, Avery Island has always been home. This was where founder and former banker Edmund McElhenney first grew the tiny red peppers. He bottled his first hot sauce in 1868, sealed it with wax, and sold just under 700 bottles around the Gulf Coast. Each one cost $1. He named the brand Tabasco, after the Mexican state known for spice production and exports.
Oh,
Edmund got
didn't
a
know
patent
that.
for it, and by the early 1870s was selling his bottles across the US and even in Europe.
Oh.
And then it kind of started to take a little steam and get bigger and bigger.
In one 24-hour period, we're going to double and then some more of what Edmund did in his entire life.
That's crazy.
Edmund lived on Avery Island, which is a natural salt dome rising 163 feet above sea level. As the highest point along the U.S. Gulf Coast, it's been a respite from raging hurricanes for the McElhenney descendants that still call the island home. But it's now at risk. Louisiana's coast sinks by an average of 1/3 of an inch per year.
Oh,
On
no.
average, between 1985 and 2010, the state lost roughly a football field of wetlands every hour.
Shit.
When land sinks, it's more vulnerable to storm damage.
It changes drastic from storm to storm, depending where it makes landfall at. You can see the marsh deteriorate.
Heath Romero is Avery Island's land manager. He said when Hurricane Rita hit in 2005, it turned this island into a lake, and parts of the marsh were destroyed. After Rita, the company built an 18-foot levee with a pump system around the factory.
We put in water control structures to stop the salt water from getting to the cypress trees.
They also planted tall grasses for protection.
And you can see we recovered all of this marsh that was open water at one time.
But it's a slow-moving
Catch that
process,
Pokemon, guys. You have to
especially
catch
as the
that
home of
Pokemon.
Tabasco enters another hurricane season.
You can't wait for somebody else to help you. You have to take action in your own self and try and protect what you have.
If you're going to put Tabasco habanero, you got to put it on vanilla ice cream.
What the
Use
fuck?
a drop per spoonful. It's perfectly okay to eat it out of the carton. I know that's discouraged, but eat it out of the carton. 1 drop of habanero per spoonful of vanilla ice cream. It's amazing.
What the fuck?
Tabasco and peanut butter is this sneaky great thing that most people don't know about.
Okay. Not sure. Okay, so let's watch another day. Any small documentary you want me to react in the chat? Okay, let's check. Oh, maybe this one about watch. Okay, let's go watch see the one about watch. Oh, and we have a small ads, so let's take a small break for the ad to pass on Twitch. So yeah, what's happening on Twitter right now? Oh, okay. What I see, they have maybe some drama on the Formula One. I'm gonna watch the race after I sleep through the race this morning. So I'm gonna watch it this afternoon. After the stream, I'm gonna rewatch the F1 race. So no spoiler in the chat, please. So I think the ad, okay, still 10 seconds for the ad. So I'm gonna watch, start the video after. I hope everyone is doing great. And if you are new on the channel, remember to maybe sub or follow this channel. So yeah. Let's restart this video.
Identifying a fake Rolex can be tricky.
You know, as a person who has been dealing with these things for years, when it doesn't say Swiss, you know something's wrong.
Yeah.
John Buckley is a veteran
okay.
watch dealer.
Of course,
buys,
yeah.
sells, and
Rolex is a
repairs
Swiss
used
project.
Rolexes, and they're sometimes worth.
I have heard that the Dalai Lama is kind of fan of Rolex. He is a fan of watch, and I can repair some. What I have heard.
Hundreds of thousands of
Oh
dollars.
shit, that shit is expensive.
Perfectly done. These days, used watches can sell for up to 3 times their retail price.
Oh god.
The market is estimated to be worth $20 billion, and it's growing fast.
It's like everybody started buying watches.
Because they're a good way to store money.
Between 2011 and 2021, Rolex has outperformed the stock market, real estate, and gold.
Shit.
But even experienced sellers like John have to be careful. For one, there are counterfeits.
U.S. Customs showed us how it seizes up to 150,000 fake watches per year.
Rolex watches inside in just plain old bubble wrap. And Rolex would never put their watches in little Ziploc bags.
But spotting a fake
Yeah, of course.
isn't always as obvious. If dealers like John get stuck with a counterfeit, the effects can be disastrous. Not just financially, but it can also destroy the reputation.
Yeah.
New young bucks
Of course.
that come into the business, they get caught out there real fast. And your reputation is burned.
Yeah.
When you can't make good on a sale. Factory bezel, factory dial.
We followed John through Manhattan's famous Diamond District to see how he strikes deals in such a competitive market.
It's 13.3.
No, it's not so bad.
Of course it's not so bad. Why do you think I'm offering?
This shit is crazy expensive. It's fucking expensive.
This section of 47th Street is home to over 2,600 businesses selling gems, jewelry, and luxury watches. John buys and sells roughly a dozen watches per week here from stores and other collectors.
Today, he's visiting 2 of his regular spots.
Little Eddie's got a Patek that I need. Hopefully I can buy it from him, and I'm going to show him a couple of pieces that I've got.
I gotta find it first.
Oh, that's good.
What's good about this watch, it comes fully complete. Look at the condition.
You got everything?
Yeah.
John already has a customer lined up for this rare Patek Philippe.
I really like this watch for
What's
myself.
the date on the papers? I'm curious. Not that it matters.
He's hoping to get it for under $40,000.
Shit.
Listen, I know it's a nice watch.
But Patek Philippe
I'm not-
is a big brand of watch. I think it's more expensive than Rolex. Most people know Rolex, but Patek Philippe is kind of big deal.
Here to beach up. You know I need it. 36,000? I thought I was pretty good at 35.
37,000, that's my final price. I think it's fair. You can think about it.
I don't have to think. Mazal.
Deal.
Thank you. This watch will be sold for 40,000 and change. So I'll make $3 grand on the watch, which is not bad.
Not bad. Not bad, but not the price of Pound Star. Pound Star, there will be, oh yeah, 40,000 watch. No, my price is $200. No, it's being honest. Maybe it would ask 15.
Down the street, John has his eye on a gold Rolex day date with diamonds on the bezel, or the ring surrounding its glass.
How much is this $21,000 watch?
25,000. Yes.
2, 3, 5. You like that, right? Let's do it. It's factory diamond dial, factory diamond bezel.
23.5. The deal, but I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna obviously stay us, but
really, it's beautiful.
John typically has around 30 watches in his collection, and most already have buyers lined up.
We like cash flow. I write a check. I want to know that, you know, I'm going to have that money back. I'll make my profit on it and move on to the next one. It's like the holy grail over here. I didn't even think they were still producing them.
He doesn't want to risk getting stuck with something he might not sell.
Yeah.
Even if he loves it. Like this diamond-studded Rolex from Qatar, which has an asking price of $175,000.
Holy shit, that expensive. But I will probably not wear something at night. This is looking great, but I'm not a fan of diamond on a watch.
When you look at these that they make on the street and you compare it to something like this, I mean, it's a different world. I don't have a home for it.
Despite the high price tags, John says he rarely makes more than a few $1,000s per watch. Sometimes it's only a few hundred.
There are very few home runs in this game. I mean, I don't know what is considered a home run. Making 10 grand on a watch, it's like, that doesn't happen. Thank you, Yasha Mazal. And thank you. Thank you so much.
In fact, he makes even more money selling obscure parts than the actual watches.
It makes
These
sense.
are interesting. These are called color change or tropical. And years ago, you know, guys would never keep this stuff. But now, because they're unique, they keep them and they ask for a lot of money for them. These are Daytona dials, which are actually pretty cool. This is just tons
Daytona.
of stuff. Wallets,
Great watch.
Rolex, duffel bags and hats. We have it all. We do.
All the
He's
merch.
wanted these Rolex parts in his workshop for 25 years.
We're here in the lab. This is where I get to practice my guerrilla watchmaking skills. You have to have a very specific part for a very
Okay. No, it thanks. I don't want any bot in my channel. And is blocked. Thanks for the ban.
specific watch in order for it to command a very high price.
John has
Seriously, I like watch. Always wears watch. I have some an automatic one. This is the same. Okay, not the same price, but it's the same kind of technology than Rolex. So it is a watch that doesn't need a battery. It is only charged by the movement of when I walk. You have a small spring inside the watch that kind of make a reserve of energy that allow the watch to work. So no need to change battery. This is simply recharging by gravity of the movement of the watch. And I have some other one with their quartz, and the quartz one, they are the less expensive one. This is like Timex and stuff like that. This is the most common watch that most people have. Or quartz at quartz. This is a small, I think it's smaller rock that have some specific electric capability that allow the watch to move at each second. But I like kind of the automatic watch. They're big, more expensive, but they are cool to have because all the technique inside the mechanism, great.
Team demand for Rolex parts and watches skyrocket after 2017.
And they are not totally crazy expensive like Rolex, and good automatic watches maybe like a few $100. A quartz one, you maybe a great one, 200, but we probably can be able to buy one at less than 100.
It's when a Rolex Daytona worn by the actor Paul Newman broke a record, selling for $15.5 million plus fees.
But the thing funny, a quartz watch, a small maybe $100 quartz watch will be more precise than a Rolex one because it uses quartz. It is something electric. It's not something with a spring, so will be more precise, but not have the style of a Rolex.
Selling officially at 15,500,000.
Holy
Thank
shit!
you for your patience, Natalie. It is history now.
15 millions for a watch.
What happened after that?
This is crazy.
Was this big bull run, and I hate to use stock terminology, but that's what it was. It's like everybody started buying watches.
In 2021, Rolex retail sales were estimated to be higher than the next 5 brands combined. So why are they in such high demand? First off, their reputation for quality.
Yeah.
They're made by hand with materials like 18 karat gold, platinum, and...
And that's why Rolex watch are expensive. You pay for the brand, of course. But they are made by hand in Swiss, so that's kind of expensive. The fact that's gold, platinum, diamond, that's really expensive.
Stainless steel. And there aren't many new ones entering the market.
Brands like Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet each make fewer than 100,000 watches per year.
Rolex makes an estimated 1 million annually.
Not that
and
much.
That's still not enough to keep up with demand.
For most people, the only way to get one is to get one secondhand.
Yeah.
The result of that, in many cases, is higher demand than available supply.
That push price to go up, of course.
Prices to go up.
Of course.
Rolexes also last and can resist all kinds of extreme conditions.
Yeah.
In fact, it started off as a sports brand back in the
Exactly. Most of the big watchmakers started as making watch for sport, for driver, for people into sailing competition, for explorer in the north or the south. Yeah, go! Nice. Try to catch him. Try to catch. And if you get the Trump one, can you take a mug shot of him?
20th century.
They began making highly functional timepieces designed to go underwater, top of mountains, and on jet planes. And these were professional grade timepieces. Yeah,
because with the pressure underwater on a high altitude, with the cold, in kind of this condition with the on jet with the G-force, some regular watch will not be able to work. So you need to have something that is built for that, and that thing is expensive too, and that have created the reputation of the Rolex. Like it said in the ad, the Rolex Submariner, one of the most famous Rolex, has been made for diving, and it can go underwater of 100 or 200 meters.
For people that needed accurate measurement.
These were not collectible watches back in the day, okay? You look at some of these, watches that are 6- and 7-figure watches, they sold for maybe $100 at a military PX or something like that.
Edmund Hillary, one of the first to summit Everest, wore a Rolex Oyster Perpetual during his expedition in 1953.
In the 60s, Rolex began sponsoring tennis matches,
Yes.
auto races, and a number of high-end luxury events. Rolexes also started showing up a lot more on movie screens. Actor Sean Connery wore one as James Bond. Marlon Brando wore one too.
Yeah, now we are
By
in
the
branding.
1980s,
If you want to make something that people want to buy and put price up, people have to want to buy this. And a great way to do that in that time period is, of course, and still today, putting them in movie and with celebrity. So people would say, oh, this is the same watch of James Bond. Oh, I want to be like James Bond. I want his watch.
Rolexes were sought-after collectibles. Today, a Rolex Daytona model is so popular, it's almost impossible to get on a waiting
Seriously, this thing look great.
list.
I'm still on a waiting list since 1996, just to give you an idea.
But buyers are willing to spend a lot to skip the line, which is why used Rolexes can sell for 2 to 3 times their retail cost.
Yeah.
And as demand soars, watch dealers like John have to be even warier of the biggest trap of the trade.
Counterfeit, yes.
Customs Officer Steve Nethersall showed us how they sniff out and seize counterfeit watches at JFK Airport. Before a package ever lands in the US, CBP gathers intelligence on the sender, container, and aircraft.
Yeah.
He'll start by looking at the box.
Well, I'm looking because I don't have my glasses on, so I'm cheating. The first, when it comes in, is the country of origin.
Yes.
Louis Vuitton, they're coming from France. The watch is coming from Switzerland. When it's coming from China, bing, that's your number one red
Yeah,
flag.
of course.
Rolex would never put their watches in little Ziploc
Oh, no.
bags. They
Of
don't
course
put
not.
These inside it, the silica gel. Rolex does not send to individuals in the United States. They only send to their retail stores.
Yeah.
More than 90% of all the goods that we receive that are counterfeit are from China.
You know, sometimes by the naked eye you can't tell, but sometimes it's that bad you can. But you look and you can see the scratches and how it's not machined properly to a nice finish.
Yeah.
So when Steve finds a counterfeit good, he seizes it. Then he figures out the item's MSRP, using the brand's website and CBP's internal database.
This one here would be about $11,000. That's the MSRP. What the manufacturer would be losing had this been genuine. These are generally on the internet for about $200.
Back in his workshop, John is figuring out whether this Rolex is counterfeit. After 25 years in the industry, he usually knows what to look for.
I mean, I'm looking at the color of the case.
Okay, the color of the case?
This piece is not the same color as this piece. This is 18 karat gold. We always have to check, because I can't take a chance on paying for it, number one, or selling it to someone else if I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the most reliable
He is
ways
a
to test
professional.
gold Rolex parts is a scratch test on a black stone made of quartz. Then he adds a few drops of nitric acid, which dissolves any material that isn't gold.
And there you go. Wow. The acid did not dissolve the gold. Over here, the acid dissolved the gold. It is not authentic.
But most of the time, he can spot a fake with the naked eye.
We could usually spot these just based on the symmetry of the case. They don't have
Okay.
that nice Rolex slope. The other, obvious thing that you look at, if you look at the amount of space between the face and the glass, you will see that it is very high. It's probably got an extra 1.5 millimeters.
John also has his son James help with fraud detection.
And I scroll through hundreds of listings and I pick out the 10 that are fake.
The threat of counterfeits hasn't stopped sellers or buyers, though.
Rolex is also getting in on the secondhand market,
Okay.
launching its own program to sell pre-owned
Oh, yeah?
Rolexes. Younger generations are fueling this new demand surge, and they're finding out about these old watches on TikTok.
I saw this watch. It's a 36mm white gold with a factory diamond dial. Can you pull it out for me?
John's son and his friend Tyler McCorsky have helped him build a huge social media following.
Buckley's with us today. Let's get it.
The bread and butter is the negotiations. You know, people like to see them, so we want to give people what they want. But our other thing that we really do well is more so education content.
Yeah,
Today,
that's important.
I'm going to show you how to change the battery on quartz watch.
John teaches audiences the same lessons on TikTok he showed Tyler when he was still a kid.
The first time I ever sold a watch for Buckley, I was 8 years old.
and it was a rubber swatch. Remember those? The rubber swatch watches. And he says, I need $5 on each one. Go sell them wherever, school, wherever, and keep whatever's left after the 5. As far as the whole hustle and the whole grind,
That's cool.
For you if you want it.
I actually enjoy the going out there and trying to make money aspect of this business.
15-2. Thank you.
Despite all
That's
these
cool.
new players, John isn't worried about the competition.
You go by these guys who fancy themselves, you know, watch specialists, and they've been doing this for a year or two. You know, everybody's a specialist or an expert.
Yeah.
Okay? Listen, I'm a friggin' expert. I've been dealing with this stuff hand to hand. I've got the junk to prove it.
Yeah.
Of course, he really left a cup of coffee down here? Did he really do that? That's just rude. That is just
I like
so
this guy.
rude.
That's a great video, guys. We have learned a lot about watch. And I would watch too. I will probably never put more than $1,000 on a piece, or maybe few hundreds, but I like to see them on the video. Okay, let's watch something else. I am supposed to stop the stream, but I want to watch something else. Insider Business, a really great video. Okay, we have already watched this one. Okay, let's find something that can be cool. Not something too long. Okay, the oldest chocolate house in New York City. Let's watch this.
This is the oldest chocolate house in New York City.
Yeah.
Exactly 100 years ago, Lilac Chocolates began serving this butter
100
crunch
years?
created by its Greek immigrant founder. Today, it's run by another immigrant who's kept many of the original recipes.
Yeah.
Before working at Lilac, I didn't even know what chocolate is.
Anwar Koder oversees the production of over 175,000 pounds of chocolate a
That's a
year,
lot.
and he still manages to keep it handmade and fresh. New York City was a major chocolate hub back in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, with big brands setting up their headquarters here. But many closed their doors in the wake of the Great Depression, or were sold to other companies. Lilac has managed to survive, despite going through several different owners, and even having to relocate as rents soared.
Yeah.
Its secret? Maintaining tradition, from its vintage molds, to its tools, and most importantly, the recipes.
That's why we
Okay,
have
that's
a
a traditional
very
stuff.
loyal customer base. They know what's going on. They know who we are.
We visited the Artisan Chocolatier to see how this New York institution is still standing. At 8 in the morning, a sweet smell fills up Lilac's Brooklyn factory. In different corners, you'll see mesmerizing waterfalls of milk, dark, and white chocolate.
Yeah.
The company prides itself on making its confections largely by hand and in small batches. That
can
includes
see
the
that.
founder's famous butter crunch, made the same way it was a century
Oh, butter
ago.
crunch are great.
It starts with sugar.
Okay, sugar.
Anwar still uses a scale that's been with the factory
Holy
since day
shit.
one.
The scale itself is over 120 years old. I know even the numbers are gone, faded, but I know where exactly, put it. I'm still using it.
After working here for 34 years, he knows most of these measurements by heart.
And this is what cooking is. It doesn't have to be like really precise. It's just the experience.
Yeah, of course.
He hand scoops tapioca syrup into the mixer. This is one ingredient Anwar updated over the years. Originally, the recipe included corn syrup, but Anwar says he's now opting for healthier alternatives.
Okay.
He heats it all up so it turns brittle. Then adds roughly 15 pounds of butter.
That's a lot of butter.
The cooked butter is just, it just penetrates you, like it's in your head.
To give it a crunchy bite, he adds 3.5 pounds of chopped almonds.
Okay.
This layer of butter creates a non-stick surface on the marble table, the same one the founder worked with a century ago.
Shit.
The marble tables are a part of the heritage in this company. They are been here since 1923.
The marble cools down the sticky mixture while keeping it soft enough to shape.
One of the very old tools we still use it to score all the candy.
Anwar and his team only
Oh,
have
that's
about
an
15
old,
minutes to spread and cut the candy before it hardens.
That's an old cutter. Break all this shit.
One batch can make 1,500 toffee squares. They shred fresh almonds into a mountain of dust and coat the candy in milk chocolate before mixing it into the almond powder.
Oh.
Throughout the day, Anwar moves around the factory, overseeing the chocolate production line.
Champagne? Okay, finish champagne. Okay, doing that.
He says he's memorized most of the company's 120 plus recipes.
Shit.
And about 65 of them made it into a recipe book that Anwar keeps in a safe.
The recipes was passed, through employees, basically, and that's how it survived.
Oh.
We always talk about the original recipe. All of it in here. It's in pieces. They're not all together, Now I have them all in the computer.
Okay.
Anwar also
Yeah.
added a few of his own recipes, like for peanut butter cups and salted caramels. But 34 years ago, he didn't even imagine he would be running a chocolate factory.
I wasn't like a chocolate fan, basically, to be honest. Of course, like a little, but I wasn't a chocolate fan.
Okay.
He moved to the United States from Lebanon to study computer programming.
Okay.
He was just 24
He is a
years
programmer.
old. But he had to drop out after his first year because his family back home couldn't afford the tuition fees.
Oh no.
I started looking for a job, part-time job, for pocket money.
He eventually landed one with Lilac just before Christmas of 1989.
Oh shit, that's long
I
ago.
fell in love with the work itself from day one. I just loved it and picked it up right away.
Anwar looked for opportunities to make things more efficient at the factory. In 2 years, he was promoted to master chocolatier and has been doing the job ever since.
I was running the company. It's like my own company. Even
Okay.
though I was just an employee there.
As technology advanced, the company had to adopt to some modern machinery to help ease production. Before, chocolatiers would hand dip every piece. But today, Lilac uses an enrobing machine that can coat 1,000 truffles with chocolate in 1 hour.
Yeah, this machine looks great.
If any piece requires some designs on it, if the design is made right here and it goes through a pooling tunnel and it comes out the other side ready to pack.
One of the factory's rules is to never freeze its products.
Okay.
That's when you lose your quality.
Yeah, of course.
And we are very well known for freshness. We
In
make
small
small
batch,
batches.
yeah.
These tempering machines heat, cool, and mix the chocolate. Without them, the chocolate may look dull and feel crumbly. Employees fill up
catch that
Lilac
Pokemon.
specialty molds. And there are about 1,000 of them, including ones shaped like Easter bunnies, pizza, and soccer balls. Anwar has some that are older than the factory itself.
Oh.
These metal molds were made in the late 1800s.
Holy shit. That's all.
This is actually an antique mold. As you see, it's a metal mold. The images on it, that no one makes them anymore. I mean, they are very rare to find.
And his collection just keeps growing.
Lamborghini, a Mercedes, a Porsche. It's all like from the 60s, baby horse. Favorite? I like the Bentley, the old one, the Bentley. This comes like this, you see. Come like this. Even the tires is a lot of work, you can do it.
Anwar never says no to a custom order, no matter how challenging it may be.
Even if I don't have the mold, I would purchase it. So we're just adding to our existing molds.
Ooh. Oh shit, that's a big one.
This giant turkey mold is almost 30 years old. Anwar bought it to use as a window display on Thanksgiving week. A customer saw it and ordered 15 chocolate turkeys a day before the holiday. Anwar said yes, knowing what it would mean.
I didn't go home that night. I spent all night making turkeys for him and got it ready by 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's great.
Chocolate took off in the United States in the 19th century, when it became faster to make it using machines. Many iconic brands like Maillard's, Runkle Brothers, and Hyler's opened large chocolate factories in New York City in the late 1800s.
I didn't know
Lilac
that.
was established in 1923 by George Demetrius, a Greek immigrant. But that era of growth would come to an end as the Great Depression loomed. Lilac managed to survive, but it hasn't been easy. Ever-rising rent prices have threatened the business for decades. While Lilac Shop stayed in the city, Anwar moved the entire production to its first Brooklyn factory starting Easter week of 2005.
The busiest week of the year. I moved the factory in 2 days.
Finding stable
That's crazy.
leadership has been a challenge too. The company has had 7 different owners since Demetrius died in 1972. Anwar's dedication to Lilac paid off when he became part owner in 2011.
GG to him.
Today, he runs the business with Anthony Cerrone and a third owner, Christopher Taylor.
When Anthony came and he had in mind, if you want to grow the company, the only condition I have with him is I don't want to change the way we make chocolate, and this was fine. He was fine with that.
We both agreed you never touch the recipes of an old school company. That's just something you don't do.
Since they began their partnership, Lilac
Don't do
has
like
expanded
Coke with
from
the new
2 New York
Coke.
shops to 6. But as the company continues to grow, quality and tradition remain their priorities.
We sell something that's 100 years old, and people, there's a whole nostalgia to chocolate. You have to know what your traditions are. We all agreed at the same time you had to keep the packaging and the brand fresh.
Yeah.
They make their chocolate in this roughly 9,000 square foot factory in Brooklyn's Industry City. Passers-by can peek through the glass window to see how chocolate is made.
Oh, that's cool.
Anwar says Lilac does not make extra chocolate stock, use preservatives, or freeze its chocolate to sell later. So during its busiest occasions, like Valentine's Day and Easter, the team works to fill orders and keep its shelves stocked.
You buy things, 1 day old, made 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
They also started selling chocolates online,
Oh.
shipping abroad.
Ow.
But everything came to a halt in 2020.
Oh, wait, the
The
pandemic,
COVID-19
yeah.
pandemic forced Lilac to close its doors right before Easter.
We really had a tough time during the pandemic.
Of course.
Everyone home and no one was working.
What Anwar wasn't expecting was that soon after, online sales would actually soar.
Oh, yeah?
And for some reason, people go into chocolate, maybe make them feel
Yeah,
better,
makes sense.
make them, feel happier, for some reason. We were only a few people here, and orders starts coming. 300, 400, 500 orders a day, and we don't have the employees, to keep up with it. All we work long hours, 7 days a week. We survived. That's what made Lilac survive the pandemic.
Anwar's vision is to make Lilac chocolates the best, not just in the city, but beyond.
I would like to see the company as like #1 chocolate company in the United States. Or to say, what the #1 chocolate company is Lilac.
Yeah. Nice video. And that's gonna be all, folks. I hope everyone had some fun for this morning. And we are in the, in the start of the afternoon right now. So J'espère que tout le monde a eu de plaisir et que vous avez apprécié notre petit watch-along, nos petites discussions. So, that's everything, guys. Have a great day. I'm returning to work Monday tomorrow. So, let's stream next week. But I'm still gonna stream. Go check on my Twitter for my schedule. So, take care, everyone, and have fun. Goodbye. That was Charlencaster for his Coffee Morning Stream. Ciao.